Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Welcome to a new episode of Steven from the All Time Podcast. I am your host, and tonight we do not do any introductions.
Nothing's for sure. It's showtime, folks!
Milenko, and the reason being is because we are here to celebrate and pay homage to a legend, a icon who has just retired this past Sunday at AEW Revolution, the legendary Sting.
The Stinger. Thank you, Stinger.
This man had a fantastic career. 39 full years in the wrestling business and retired at 64, 65 years old. Something like that.
He did all the companies.
It's crazy, huh? He did WCW. What else did he do? WWE. He did TNA.
Name everything. He did everything.
AEW. He did everything, and it's crazy how he reinvented himself from Surfer Sting to Black and White Sting to NWO Sting to Wolfpack Sting to the Joker Sting, and just continuing such an amazing career. This dude was in the ring, was on another level, and even at 64 years old, he was still at the top of his game. Yes, he was a bit slower, but hey, that's what happens when you age. But
of course,
I remember watching a match because I missed wrestling for a good 10 years, but I remember watching him against Seth Rollins a couple of days ago, and I had no idea he fought Seth Rollins. And
me neither. I have no idea of that.
He was 55 years old, wrestling Seth Rollins, and he was keeping up with Seth Rollins. And you know what type of athlete Seth Rollins is. And he was keeping up with him like he was his age. It was incredible to see.
Mm-hmm. He's a phenomenon. He's a phenomenal athlete all around. To be able to just keep going with the trends and the years and the different wrestlers. He's been in the square circle with everyone. When you think about it.
Imagine he started, it was in 85, okay? The dude was working at a gym, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he got approached, and he was running with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
he was tag team with Ultimate Warrior,
mm-hmm.
and just continued his career, man. He was loved by everybody. Not one bad comment by anybody that he worked with, his peers, the promoters. It's only fantastic things to say about Sting. You hear interviews, only great things about Sting. But it's amazing just that the career that this dude had, the matches that he put on, just something that growing up and being able to see his transition into the NWO Sting, the Black and White Sting,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing him come down from the rafters, and just that character and the
Mm-hmm.
build up, and just how amazing he was, and just even in the ring, the Stinger dead drop, like just he was an athlete, all around athlete, and being part of my childhood, and I'm sure your childhood, as I could see the Stinger puppet in the back, or whatever you want to call it, stuff.
Yeah, that's straight from the 90s. This puppet, when you hit it make noise with the battery inside and everything. But it's just, when you're a kid, it's mostly just you don't understand much, so it's mostly the costume and the appearance and the whole thing got you going, right? But then when I grew and listened to wrestling more and more, I got into TNA for a small period of time.
Never did I never watched TNA.
It played on RDS, so TSN. It played and it had the French commentary, so I used to listen to it, and that's when he was the Joker. So I would see all those weird skits he would do, and he would still perform on the ring. So,
TNA, he fought Kurt Angle. He fought AJ Styles, Samoa Joe.
oh, TNA was yeah. TNA had a great roster at that time. The writing was horrendous, but Abyss was there too. That was a great guy.
Uh, what did you think of his final match, defending the tag team champions with Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks?
I liked it. I liked it was a spectacle more than a match. I think that's what they needed to do. I think a normal 2-on-2 tag team would have been too much for him. I think so. With the Young Bucks facing, maybe it would have been too much. They wanted to do something different. Darby took that nasty, nasty bump. He jumped out the ladder to the glass
I
on
don't
the
think
floor.
they need
Jesus.
they didn't need that. There was too much. It took
I
away
mean,
from Sting. I found when that happens.
yes, it took away, but at the same time, it puts out Darby Allin for the rest of the match. So you get the all on Sting. So I think well, that's what they wanted to do. That's why they did it. And they made him look strong, and people were reacting to it. So, man, the West Side Gun story, you saw that Darby Allin bump. West Side Gun story was front row, so you see it front
Yeah.
row. Oh my god, he's a maniac. So I think that was people are talking about today. So yeah, maybe it took a bit of a shine. You, how do you feel about the match?
I didn't need that match. I could have dealt with a normal tag team match or a tornado tag team without
Mhm.
weapons. I don't need the ladders, the chairs. I didn't find it was really a Sting match. I would have even liked him to go out just against Darby Allin or just in a singles match against Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, Edge. Sorry, Adam
Mhm.
Copeland. Like, go up against those guys and just have a one-on-one 15 to 20-minute match. Put him in the Stinger deathlock, and just that's it. And right into the sunset.
Yeah, I think good thing about it too is it builds the young buck as even more heels.
Hmm.
I think I think they're gonna get heat, like real heat, and not too long. I think so. They're going to get it. I'm sure. So I think that was the buildup they needed to. That's why if you would have put it against Chris Jericho or one of those guys, it
Hmm.
wouldn't work that well. But for me, the too much was like Ric Flair and
Steamboat.
Steamboat was a bit much. The kids doing horrendous splashes. So yeah, those kids who did horrendous splashes. I'm
It's
never gonna
okay.
forget
He
that.
had his sons in the ring with him, dressed as Wolfpack Sting and Surfer Sting.
Yeah.
But look, an amazing career, 39 years in the wrestling business, a class act, an amazing athlete. Thank you, Sting, for being part of my childhood. And also thank you because of Sting, I now walk around with a baseball bat anywhere I go, whether it's the restaurant, to bring my kids to school, to work, if I'm going to do a sport, if I'm showing up to my grandparents' house, if I'm going to the mall, I always have a black baseball bat with me.
And you always say it's showtime too.
And I always say it's showtime, and sometimes you might even see me come from the rafters.
Yeah, yeah. That's why last time you came here, you come out for the rafters. I didn't see you. No car, nothing. Just came out of the
It's
rafters.
it's because of Stinger. Um, let's move on. Speaking of Stinger, speaking of the match, AEW Revolution.
Yeah, this weekend.
What were your thoughts on it? What were your favorite matches?
My thoughts is those matches were amazing. I mean, it was packed. They all delivered. It felt, I saw a commentary on Instagram. It felt like the old AEW, and I agree. It got me excited again to see all those storylines.
Triple
The
threat?
trip the triple threat with Joe, uh,
Sw-
Cowboy, Swerve was, to me, great storytelling. The way they went against each other and
Mhm.
not to the champion because they hate each other that much. I think that was great.
Great match,
Uh,
by the way. Great
oh,
match. the storytelling was fantastic in it.
Phenomenal, phenomenal.
I knew Samoa Joe was gonna win. I knew it, but just the whole Swerve having a title match and the gay cowboy Hangman Adam Page kind of stopping him and
Mhm.
being in the middle of it from not making him win and tapping out to Joe was kind of like did he tap out so that Swerve didn't win the
Yes,
match?
I'm sure that. Yeah, that's for sure. I think they did great. I think they really did great. So yeah, I thought Swerve was about to win.
No, not yet.
I was sure. I was sure. But that was great. Roderick Strong versus Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was a great match. Orange
Roderick
Cassidy,
Strong is amazing.
they looked amazing, both of them. I
Flowed.
mean, Orange Cassidy needs to take vacation. He's been on it since AEW started. He's the workhorse. He lost the belt. I hope he gets vacation for this. Well deserved. He put that belt on a high standard. So let's see what they can do with it. And man, them and the match of the year happened.
Your favorite match, no?
100%. Will
I know what.
Ospreay
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
versus my guy. I cannot say his name. I can never Tankisha. How you say that?
Takesha.
Tankisha. Dude,
Yeah.
that guy looks like $1,000,000. I was so happy when he won against Omega twice. Oh man, so this match was just and
It
this was
flowed.
oh my god,
The flow.
those guys are athletes, bro.
The
Those
bump.
guys are
The bumps.
athletes.
The bumps they were taking. Did you see Will Ospreay's back?
Oof. Dude, he did a suplex on on the top turnbuckle. Like what the hell? Eh, on the turnbuckle, not over it,
You
not
saw.
from it.
You saw his.
On.
You saw the side of his side on his
Mm-hmm.
back
Yeah,
was just turning color immediately, and it just kept
yeah,
getting darker and darker and just spreading. He was bruised from on the inside.
yeah. And that's I think, and I already see old people, the Jim Cornettes of this world hating that match, but that's how wrestling is now.
Yeah.
Like I think the fast pace, the attention span of everyone, like we need fast paced stuff. They didn't sell that much, but who cares? Like they throw in big moves, good chain wrestling, moves you've never seen before. So
5-star match, huh?
5 star for me. Best
What?
match of the
How amazing! How
even.
amazing was the opener? Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia, and him coming out with the West Side Gun jacket.
Another great match.
So
How you
good,
feel?
so good.
I hope Daniel Garcia gonna go big.
He has to. The guy
Mhm.
is amazing. Like he's telling such a story from an underdog perspective. It's
Mm.
just super well, and the match was so good. I knew Christian Cage was gonna win, but the match was super well put together.
And
Uh,
Christian Cage, man, if you would have told me he would have done all that in AEW coming, I wouldn't believe you.
no,
But he's doing it. And Garcia, I think, with the short amount of time we've seen it, he's been doing the charismatic, the funny stuff, and he
hmm
can be the grimy stuff
hmm
both. So he plays it really well.
the FTR versus John Moxley and Claudio. Oof.
Damn, can you believe those guys were dropped off the WWE?
It's all four,
All four.
or one
It's
of them left, or some of them left just to leave.
yeah,
But
but they all left. They all left. But I think FTR maybe was a signing thing, but I think they just all left. But WWE had that product in house.
because of terrible booking,
Yeah, so for
terrible
me, it's
booking,
crazy.
they don't push guys like that. They don't. They're not gonna push people like that no more. Especially guys like FTR. They're not pushing guys like that anymore. That's not what they want.
You like
They
the finish?
No, I wasn't a fan of the finish. I really wanted FTR. I don't understand. Well, the finish of the match was good with the sleeper holds, putting
Mm-hmm.
them in the sleeper holds, but FTR should have won that match. FTR are the younger guys. John Moxley and Claudio, they would have put them over to another level if they would have
Mm-hmm.
won that match.
But they won so much already, FTR. That's why I think they did it.
They deserve the tag champions. Let's be honest. They need to
Mm-hmm.
win the tag team champions.
They're gonna win it back for sure.
And I have a feeling because they're gonna vacate the titles because Sting is no longer there and Darby Allin can't hold both belts. They're gonna
Yeah.
do a tournament, and I have a feeling John Moxley and Claudio are gonna win that tournament.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. That I can see that 100%. Your boy Eddie Kingston
I
versus your worst enemy, Danielson.
fuck Brian Danielson. Eddie Kingston put on a hell of a match. A hell of a match. I love Eddie Kingston.
Mhm.
Eddie Kingston is just great. Just his attitude, the way he walks to the ring. He's holding 3 belts like it's heavy, and he's just rushing to the ring just so he could fight you. And I know it's such old school wrestling, but the guy does it so well. He's a
Grimy.
fighter.
He's grimy, yeah.
Yeah, and and look at the stacked card that they have. There was what 10 matches,
Yeah.
around 10
Yeah.
matches,
Hmm.
and there was the pre-show before with 2 matches. They know how to put together a pay-per-view. The best thing about AEW is their bookings for pay-per-views. They are stacked. It's 4 hours. You're half dead by the time the thing is done, but it's so interesting. There's so much going on, and the matches that they put together are not cheeseball matches. They're not boring matches. They're interesting. It's always go 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 go, and it never stops. Never stops.
I agree with you.
Well done. What do you give the pay-per-view on 10?
It's a A.
8?
A. A. It's a A. Yeah.
It's an A. You're going with alphabet now?
Yeah, I'm going with alphabet.
Okay, I'm
It's
doing
an A.
I'm giving it an A plus.
A plus.
Amazing.
Jesus.
Fantastic.
So it's a 9. It's a 9.
Absolutely.
9.5.
It's one of my favorite pay-per-views I've seen in a long time. Not like WWE with Elimination Chamber with 4 matches and such terrible storytelling.
I didn't see it. I can't judge, but I hope. I know Derek is listening, so Derek, just go watch the Will Ospreay match and tell me about it, please. That's all I gotta say.
Uh, the real reason we're here tonight,
Mm-hmm.
you could see by your hoodie, and I know you're super excited to wear it. But the second segment to our hip hop and wrestling show, where we bring you nothing but the best in hip hop and wrestling in one whole damn show. ScHoolboy Q. ScHoolboy Q, after 5 long years of not releasing an album, has finally released his album, Blue Lips.
Yeah. Yep.
That I know we've both been excited for, and we both, coming off of Crash Talk and how terrible it is, and I know we're gonna get into it, but I just have to say how terrible it was. It was highly anticipated for us. We were
Mhm.
excited to get into it. And you know what? I pulled a U. I said I'm not gonna look at a track listing. I'm not gonna see who the featurings are. I'm gonna press play. I'm gonna let the album ride. And I listened to myself, and I did it. First of all, you couldn't see the featurings on the album cover, on the back of the album because they were so small. But we're gonna get into it. What we're also gonna do is we're gonna review all of ScHoolboy Q's albums, and we're gonna give at the end in order, a ranking, just
Yep.
like he did, because he did the same thing.
Yep.
And it was very fun to see where he stands with his albums.
Yeah, really funny. He was really honest too.
So, ScHoolboy Q's first album in 2011,
Yeah.
Setbacks. I'll let you kick this one off.
So Setbacks. I mean, 2011. So that means it was at the same time as I discovered Kendrick Lamar, because I discovered Q from K Dot. That was 2011, so it was on the Nine Wonder, because my love of Lil Brother and Nine Wonder, one of my favorite producers of all time. He released Wonder Years, and in that album he has a song, Enjoy, I think it's called. And you have 3 rappers on that. You have Warren G opening, Murs second verse, and the
Murs.
third verse it was by this guy Kendrick Lamar. Okay, and his little voice. Who I was like, who is that guy? The bars, and he finished that thing. He finished. You know, I mean, listeners know when you have the last verse, it's because you're the guy, right?
There's
And
something about you that's coming up.
he's going against Murs, that's one of the most underrated rappers of all time, legend, and Warren G, legend. So he destroyed it. I looked at his crew, and I fell in love with Schoolboy Q with this album, Setbacks. I mean, Setbacks to me, he was rapping for 4 or 5 years, he said, but Setbacks to me, I grew up with that album. That's the reason I bought the blue TDE hoodie, because we had the red colorway, we had the black colorway, but I choose the blue because of Q. And to me, this album, it just have my classics. It has classic, but I'm totally biased. It's personal, by the way. I don't mean this in the hip hop history at all, but Druggies with Hoes is probably one of my classic songs all time. Probably the song I listen the most. I never skip that song. Um, Bet I Got Some Weed, Light Years Ahead, Fig Get the Money,
Fig get the
Phen-
money. Fig get the money.
Psycho, Birds and the Bees, Rolling Stone,
Rolling Stone.
Situations
Rolling Stone.
with Black Hippie. So yeah, to me, Setbacks is, you can see already he's gangster. He's coming back, and that time there was not really a good scene for the gangster rap. So, and he come in and he already was trying experimental stuff. He wasn't doing. He was avant-garde already. I feel like with beats like to the beat, a song like To the Beat, Phenomenon, that was kind of weird for that time. I didn't like To the Beat. I never listened to the To the Beat, but yeah, that was my first album in 2011.
I know you enjoyed this album a lot. I
Yeah.
went back and listened to it, and for me, I didn't find it stood the test of time. It
Mhm.
didn't grow as much as I hoped it would. I found myself really struggling with getting through it because I found there wasn't
Jeez.
I found there wasn't a flow to the album. With that being said, there is standout tracks. Fig Get the Money, Druggies with Hoes featuring Absol, Situations, I'm Good featuring Punch and BJ the Chicago Kid, Birds and the Bees, and Rolling Stone. But you could tell that this is the beginning of his career. You could tell that he wasn't rapping for so long. You could tell that he was still struggling in trying to find his character, find who he was, find a lane for him.
Yeah.
It sounds like a mixtape, which is it is considered a mixtape that
It is. Yeah.
you have to pay for, but it's a mixtape. It's a there's no flow to the album, so there's a bunch of songs thrown together on an
Mhm.
album. And
Yep.
I didn't start with this. This wasn't my introduction to Schoolboy Q.
So then we go to a year after 2012, and he drops Habits and Contradiction. Now I'll let you talk about this.
This was my introduction to Schoolboy Q. Okay, 2012. The 2012 Steven was heavily into the quote unquote underground hip hop. I was listening to Random Acts, Sean Price, Cage, Tame One. I could name you artists for days. I wasn't listening to anything
Aesop Rock, probably.
Aesop Rock, LP, uh, like Boot Camp Click. I wasn't listening to anything that had anything to do with the slightest commercial success or anything that peaked into the commercial lane. Zero. Zero. I heard of Kendrick Lamar the same way you did.
Mhm.
Okay. And I did the same thing as you, where oh, Kendrick Lamar. Let me go listen to Section 80. Oh, wait.
Uh,
What's this? What? Oh, Schoolboy Q. Oh, okay, that's cool. And I never really went to go listen to Schoolboy Q, but maybe a week after this album was released, I listened to the song "Nightmare on Fig Street."
mhm.
The album cover attracted me because of the girl with the ski mask licking his face, and I was like,
Mhm.
"This looks cool. Let me go see what it is." Oh,
Grimy already.
right? And the name Schoolboy Q caught interest. I'm always somebody that looks at the name of an artist to be like, there's an interest here. Let me go see where this name comes from. And I listened to Nightmare on Fixture and I was like, they still make music like this?
Mhm.
It had that aggression, the grimy, the interest of, hey, this is a gangster rapper. Huge fan of Ice Cube, huge fan of Scarface, huge fan of the West Coast sound. But I found that the West Coast sound for so long, probably since the game, was lacking.
Was the same. It was all the same. And Nightmare, if you hear Nightmare on Fig, and this is something we're gonna say the whole episode, but experimental. He wasn't doing that West Coast shit that everybody. This is a guy from Hoover. Okay, you can't get more into the street than that, and he's still doing and testing songs like Nightmare on Fig Street that people still to this day don't do. I feel.
That song was that I would listen to that song 20 times a day. And then songs like Sacrilegious that he opens up the album with, that's just like the beat, dum, dum, dum. It's like those keys, and it's just, it gets you in right away. And he's not rapping like he is on Nightmare on Fig, but he's telling you a story. He's getting you into the album. And then there he go, Hands on the Wheel featuring ASAP Rocky. I think Hands on the Wheel featuring ASAP Rocky to this day is still my most played songs on iTunes.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. I wish I could see my iTunes stats, man.
You plug in the iPod and it shows you all your songs and the most played.
My iPod I had in high school is dead by now. It's probably some Puerto Rican kid that has it. And,
Sex Drive, Oxy Music, My Hating Joint, Tuki Knows, Groove Line Part 1. Just the way the album was put together, it gives you so much, and you get to know who ScHoolboy Q is. Like, a dude like this really still exists. The drug talk, the prostitution talk.
Yeah.
Like, it's intense. It's gangster rap that was missing from the West Coast.
And his habits and contradictions. So he talks about all of that, but he still gives you more in like Sacrilegious, and he tells you about the Oxy Music. He has stories in it. So I like that.
And to finish off, the growth from setbacks to habits and contradiction from one year to the next.
Huge. I agree with that. So then we jump to 2014. And this is peak ScHoolboy Q. He has a bucket hat on the cover. Oxymoron.
Ugh.
And Oxymoron is that's a good album, man. He starts with a banger right away, and this was all eyes was on him. All eyes went on him. So
what could he do?
What can he do? And there you go. He went and started with a bang. He started with Gangsta. Second song, Los Awesome. You go with a beat totally from the right side of what you think a second song could be after Gangsta. And then you get Collard Greens. That's one of the most experimental pop rap songs that you can hear. I mean, that was the single. And Kendrick said, listen, I've been on all the cuts with the depressing story, and I want to have a party song with you. And that's what they did, and it's the classic. Dude, I have it open on Spotify right now. You want to see, what's the number of listening on streams on this?
How much?
500,000, dog. That's a lot, dude.
You find? I don't find that's a lot. On just Collard Greens?
Yeah.
500,000. That's not a lot.
That's a lot.
You find?
500,000. That's a lot.
I thought you were gonna tell me it's 1 million, over 1 million. So he probably made 5 cents from that song.
Probably. So yeah, this album was all over like mainstream, and he still did it something super listenable. To this day, I can still listen to this, no problem.
Man, look at the songs. What They Want featuring 2 Chainz, Hoover Street, Studio featuring BJ the Chicago Kid, where I don't care what anybody says, I love that song. It's such a good middle of the album song that you're just like, thank you. What's next?
Yeah.
Prescription, Oxymoron, The Purge featuring Tyler the Creator, and my guy, Corrupt Young Gotti. When was the last time you heard Corrupt Young Gotti on a song in 2014, 2013?
Oh man, he put it on, huh? He put him on, bro. On and that's the Purges, the Tyler the Creator beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2014 Tyler. He gave 2014 Tyler a beat, a spot, and that's huge.
Blind Threats next, featuring one of my favorite rappers of all time, Raekwon.
Mm-hmm.
ScHoolboy Q and Raekwon. How does that fit, Milenko? How does that fit? It fits perfectly, like a glove.
That beat is perfect for them.
There was the Hell of a Night, Break the Bank, produced by Alan the Chemist,
Mm-hmm.
and Man of the Year, which was a huge party song. Huge.
Yeah, Man of the Year. I can listen to that. Never skip that song. Every
Never.
time it plays somewhere, I never get tired. I always sing the hook, and that's something that I think ScHoolboy Q, being such a fan of 50 Cent, he put emphasis on all of his hook and all of his project, all his career, and he's so good at it. I don't think we give him enough credit for that. And Man of the Years is an example of it. I mean, I still sing it. I can sing every hook of here. So
it's because it's catchy. He did a super great job with it. It's his first studio album, right? And physical as well. No, there was physicals for the other ones. It wasn't on a record label. Hey, who haven't you ever heard on a song in a long time that's on this album on Groove Line Part 2?
Dude, Sugar Free. Open that song. Open it up too. Open it up.
Is that one of the best songs on that album?
Oh, it could. Oh yeah. I would argue that, honestly. I would argue that. I mean, Sugar Free. I wish we could hear more Sugar Free ScHoolboy Q. I'm happy he put them on, bro. I'm really happy he put them on.
The surprise I had when I looked at the featurings, it got me so much more excited for the album, but they came through. They weren't stale featurings. And fucking Sugar Free and ScHoolboy Q talking about pimping hoes.
Yeah.
And the Sugar Free verse is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
What does he say at the end? He says, I can pimp a BB. I can pimp a
BB out of a spray can.
Oh my god, that's what, dude. When I heard that shit the first time, I laughed so hard. That's Sugar Free for you. I love Sugar Free, man.
Such a great album. Such a standout album.
Then two more years and we get Blank Face.
Remember when for all the people that listened, and if you didn't listen, you should go listen to it. But the first podcast, the all-time podcast with Steve, we did our top 100 albums of hip hop. I would say 6-7 years ago we did that list, and
already.
And Blank Face was on that top 100 because I find this album a near perfect, if not a 10 on 10 classic album.
I agree with that. I think it's perfect. I mean, if Oxymoron was on that edge, there's still some tracks in there that I never go back to. I'll talk about it later, but I mean, this Blank Face album is no skip. It's a no skipper for me. No skipper for me. So well thought out, well produced,
well put together. I find the featurings: Kanye West, Lance Skywalker, Jadakiss, Vincent Staples, E40 Fonzarelli, The Dog Pound, SZA, Anderson .Paak. It's just, when you see a track list like that, you're like, what kind of an album like this bring to me? And I remember listening to because he came out with Groovy Tony first. There was like a single to hype up the album, and then then Jadakiss ends up being on it, and it's just like, wow, this ScHoolboy Q is rapping. Like ScHoolboy Q is like what you want to hear from him. And this to me,
he was locked in.
And this is what probably hurt to me his career afterwards, is because this album was so well done. And just, you said at the beginning, Schoolboy Q has always been somebody that would be working with experimental type of beats.
Yep.
This is like West Coast in experimental style beats, and the production value on this like is just top tier onto a different level. And the way it sounds and it's curated, and he's
Yeah.
telling you a story. Um, like look at songs like "Ride Out" featuring Vince Staples.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude. And that's Vince Staples from 2016. That's summertime Vince Staples.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are two West Coast artists doing a total off-kill West Side. You never think of West Side, two West Side rappers would do that. So, and they go at it and they say the most gangster shit you can tell on that beat. Such a cool song, and the all album, man. Dude, I fucked up, huh? You know what I just understood, because my I have so many pages in here that my Spotify is open half. It's 200 million. So last album, the listens, it was 500 million.
500 million.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Color
crazy.
Green. Yeah, that's
I knew it.
598
There was something
million.
wrong. I knew it. There was something wrong.
There you go. And Blank Face. So my point with that was Blank Face is his most critical acclaim. Every Schoolboy fan you will ask, it probably put top one, right?
Yeah.
If I go and check the streams and the listen, this nothing goes as far as Oxymoron. So you see that part is the most listened with 222 million. So
Wow.
he gets and that affected big time Schoolboy Q, because he just did this album that was critically acclaimed. Everybody saying this is the best album ever. Hyping him up, and he wasn't selling out shows, so it affected him big time.
I would have loved to see this album. This album right here for a show with
He didn't
these
come to
songs.
Montreal, huh?
No, not for.
No, I would have been there. No, I would have been there.
Just look at songs like "Dope Dealer,"
Oof.
"Big Body," "Big Body," "Big
Big
Bands."
thing, big body, big band. I
What
love that.
such a great album. Like, and just like the the beginning part of the album with the Lance Skywalker and just the whole mood that it puts you in is, and then it just turns on you and it goes into a different light. Amazing. Just
Straight balling, straight balling, straight ball like a bitch. Like, it's so grimy, man. I mean, I love it.
and
Love it.
how it repeats Blank Face, the
Yeah.
the interlude little part throughout the whole album. Amazing. Amazing.
We could talk about the album for hours. Huh?
I know. It's just incredible.
So then it goes 2019. We get Crash Talk, and Crash Talk was, I mean, he said it on the post that we talked about before. I'm gonna put it somewhere at the end when we do a ranking. I'm gonna post it there so people can see it. But he was chasing numbers. He was chasing numbers on this, and it sounds like we were so hyped for this album. We
3
knew
years.
each other. Yeah, we knew each other by that time. And when Num Num Juice came out, oh, I was excited. And then what was the other single of that?
It was Num Dum Juice and oh boy, you're asking me about an album that
Was
I
it
just
Chopstick? I don't know, but whatever. Num Num Juice got me so excited. I thought this was gonna be another great album, and then I played this, and this was a commercial. I'm trying to get hits. I'm trying to hit the charts,
look at
and
the featurings.
ugh, so many features.
Travis Scott, Ty Dolla Sign, YG, which I don't mind. 21 Savage, Kid Cudi, and Lil Baby, and your favorite Black. Is it Six
Ugh.
Black or Black?
It's black and it's horrendous. Drunk, that song, horrendous song. Oh,
This album came out around the time that I was gonna have my second kid, and I needed something to get me through those months of waiting for a second child. and this just did terrible for me. And
Oh, I imagine.
I was just shot down. I would drive my son to daycare in the morning, and I would put this on, and I would be like, I really want to like this album. It's Schoolboy Q. I really, really want to like it. But then there's such annoying songs on here that just don't fit anything he was doing, and it just brought my whole all my hopes down. There's nothing standout to this album. And if somebody ever asks me, was one of the albums uh, that you, first of all, you regret purchasing and listening to, or the one album that is the biggest deception in listening to music, I probably would give you two. I would give you Schoolboy Q Crash Talk, and I would probably give you Schoolboy Q Crash Talk.
I mean, it's up there for me. It's up there for me. Yeah, there's some songs in here that I never went back ever, and when I heard them, it's horrendous. I mean, I listened to this album back. Okay, I listened maybe 5, 6 times in my whole life. This album. I listened to it the week going to Blue Lips to prepare for this review, and damn, it's so bad. I just can't get it. Chopstick, it was probably one of my first time going through the whole song. It's so bad. It became like a joke. It became a joke. If you go and watch a video on YouTube, everybody's is making jokes about the hook, about Travis Scott just repeating the same thing, and like the chopstick thing, and it's just, yeah, this album disappointed a lot of people, but made the biggest number.
Of course.
Made
Of
big
course.
numbers.
I'm not surprised. The featurings made the numbers, not the album.
The singles, yeah.
Right?
I mean, the only track that I would save on this that they can still can listen to it is Crash, because it plays on. I put it in my playlist for my store. I love that song. Crash, I can still play that. And okay, that's pretty much it.
Next.
Next. So now 2024, Blue Lips. So long, man. Such a long wait for this album. How do you
5
feel about
years.
it?
5 years. Oh,
5
5
years.
years. So you're asking me. You're asking me first.
Yeah,
how I
listen. Okay, before I start something out here, okay? I feel like this, I know it, is gonna be, we're gonna have our differences here. I know it. I
know.
pretty much know it. I think so. So
I agree. I have a feeling. I already know
I
where you
already
stand.
I already know which song you're gonna like and not. And I think it's gonna be another Benny the Butcher situation.
Oh, here we
I'm
go.
a-
I love how you put me on the spot for that bullshit. So my opinion on the album, I listened to it maybe about 6 to 7 times, and in old Steven fashion, as I pinpoint all the negatives before the positives. I'll just give it to you straight. I like the album.
Mhm.
It just has some there's parts in the album where I don't understand in which direction he's going. Okay. I'm not really too, maybe I need to listen to it a bit more, but I'm not really like, okay, Schoolboy Q is talking about this. Schoolboy Q is bringing us into this direction. I find the album doesn't break evenly because you're getting so much in the album that it kind of loses you. Okay. And I find the beginning of the album is strong,
Okay.
but then drops off and becomes boring. Like I
Okay,
get bored of the album. Like
It is a 18 song, 56 minutes long album. It's long.
and in 2024,
Yeah, for a 2024 album, it's long.
as a 34-year-old man, my attention span has diminished drastically. And yes, I like 30-minute albums. And then towards the middle of the album, I'm just like, it's boring. There's nothing exciting about it. I find with 18 songs now, it's filler. And then and we're gonna get into the standout tracks. I want to get into the standout tracks with you. And then towards the end of the album, it picks up again, but I'm already lost by then, so I'm still trying to get my groove back into
Mm-hmm.
what he's doing. You get what I mean? Is that
Yeah,
it,
I
it,
totally understand. Yeah,
and I'm sure that's exactly what you were expecting from me.
yeah, yeah. I was expecting that. I mean, what made me think of that is albums like Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia. I feel that way about. I love that album. I know. I understand why you don't like it. You know. Um,
But you, I want to know you. I want to know your thoughts on that, and then we'll talk about the standout tracks.
for me, so listen, I prepared the whole week. I went to the whole discography. I didn't listen on Friday when it dropped. I was waiting. I thought maybe we're gonna do something special, whatever we were in the works. Um,
Yeah, we're terrible, but continue.
it didn't work out. Okay, guys, we're gonna get it wrong. We're gonna get it right one day. Listen to us. Um, so whatever. I wanted to listen it with you first time. We didn't. It didn't work. I went home. I put it in the car. It was 10. It was like 10.
10:30. Yeah.
10, yeah, 10:30 p.m. Go back to my place. It's like a 15-minute, 20-minute drive. I play it, right? And I'm jumping up and down. So already I'm excited, and it's 10 o'clock already, and I'm jumping up and down in my car from the intro. And the first part of the album is just, to me, is unbelievable. So then I get home, and the first thing I do, I don't cut the music and go to sleep. I put my headphones in,
Mm-hmm.
go to my room, close the lights, and just watch the lyrics, and let's go. I'm going in. And the first listen turned into two. And then I went to YouTube. I watched the whole rollout of the album.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to bed at like 1 in the morning. So, do I like this album? I love this album. I really do.
Really?
I really do. I mean, the last time I did a first listen and I listened to it like multiple times was last year Sampha release. That album was spectacular. So this one got me interested, and the surprises of this album got me going. All those curveballs that he throws at you, I love that. And again,
Which curveballs?
all the beat switches,
Okay.
all those beat switches. And right at the beginning, when Funny Guy started, I screamed because I'm like, okay, I screamed because I was happy because it's not going to be a crash. I knew it right away. I knew it right away. I knew it right away. Even with Pop, I went like, okay, this is not going to be a crash. He's going for it. He's doing what he likes.
Great song. Great, great song. Great way to start off the album. And again, I feel like it's an awkward beat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's that Schoolboy Q intros to his album where it's hard hitting, right?
I mean, the guitar on Pop is heavy. Is that it's just, and he start his first line. He says, I probably shouldn't walk what I walk." That's his first line.
Yeah.
But the way he said it with that beat drop is just, it gives me chill all the time. I listened to this album in 3 to 4 days. I think I listened over 10 times.
So that's 10 hours.
I listen to it easily 3 times a day. 3 times a day.
Wow.
Easily. I listen to this album, and it's not like I go and pick and choose songs on where I start and end. I really do start from Funny Guy, the intro, and I cut it at the outro. I really love this album.
What are your standout tracks, and what are some of the weaker points in the album?
For me, I think there's so many standout tracks to me.
Tell me.
And that's the thing. I love Pop. Thank God for Me, Blue Side. For me, the 10 first songs, all hits. The 10 first songs.
Even Lovebirds and Movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they grew on me even more.
You see,
Like,
I find Lovebirds, to me, where it starts to drop is at Yearn 101. I find Lovebirds and Movie shouldn't be on the album. I think they're they're fillers, especially movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I like the beat, I just don't find that it should be whoever AZ uh,
Easy
Shike
Shike.
AZ Shike. Schoolboy Q should have rapped on that song.
Yeah, I mean he should have, but I mean I don't feel like it's filler. If he puts it on, he puts it on. I feel like it still give me impression. Maybe Scuba Q doesn't want to do those tracks anymore, and he wanted one of those tracks, and he gave it to a guy that we don't know. And it's fun for me to always put the album, don't know the featurings, and be like, when Pop started, and I went like, who's that girl rapping? I'm like, oh, that Rico Nasty. And when I went like, that's a perfect combination. I never thought about.
I
But
had no idea who Rico Nasty was, by the way. I have
Schoolboy
no idea.
Q, Rico Nasty dropped an album back then. She did a 30-minute album with just 1 minute songs, if I remember.
She sounds
Correct.
like Gangsta Boo. I thought it was Gangsta Boo. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Gangsta Boo.
Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo. And then there's a chicken head cut on this, right?
What song?
On Thank God for Me.
Yes.
It's a chicken head
Project Pat.
sample from Project Pat. It's
Chicken
amazing.
head.
And
Chicken.
it's
Yeah.
and again, it's a throwback. Like it throws you, it goes and starts with a laid back flute, ambient sound, and then it cuts and it goes straight to chicken head, and it's just that heavy sample and makes it's so much heavier than the original. I really love this album. So for the 10 first tracks are all hits for me. Then it goes to the problem with me is 11 and 12. First in Nunu, I like the songs, but it drops.
Another two songs that dropped for me. I was bored.
I like the storytelling. I like the storytelling on them.
Which is good. Which is good, but the tracks itself I find bore me. There's nothing to them.
I like the first part is a Cardo got wangs on the first on the 11th song. I like the first part of the song, but then when it it grew on me more for the second part of the song when the drums go out and it's just the strum of the guitars. I like that the refrain, the chopped and screw refrain. I was the first one. It gives just that heaviness in it to it. I don't hate the song, but it just dropped for me. And then when it comes back with Back in Love, I love that bass line. That bass line for me, that Back in Love bass line, like Back in Love with this, Back in Love with it, it just gets me every time, honestly.
See, even Back in Love for me, like, it's not a bad song. I just don't need it on the album. I'm still lost. I'm still trying to figure out what you're trying to do with this album. That it kind of throws me off. I find Lost Times. That's where it starts to pick up again, and then that's where you have some of the best work on the album with Germany '86, which is a song where he talks about his mom a lot. I like that Schoolboy Q has a song where he talks about his mom. Time Killers, Pig Feet. Pig Feet featuring Childish Major, who I have absolutely no idea who he is.
That's a cop killer song, huh? Have you ever? It's been a long time since I heard a cop killer song like that.
What does he say on it about? There's a line on there that stands out. I can't remember what it is.
Dude, he says about the bacon on the driveway.
Yes.
On the driveway, he talks about whatever a line that I like in there when they say, "Oh, they going live, police like they going live talking about police going live, or we going slide." So I love that. It's just again, Schoolboy Q makes everything so simple, but his lyricism is still there. You know, it's so simple, but his lyricism is still there. Again, I'm gonna go back to Thank God for Me, but like to Blue Slides. Sorry, Blue Slides. When you say Rolly, we took big risks. Like it's such an easy line to do, but it's such a clever line at the same time.
Blue Slides has to be about Mac Miller.
I don't think it's about.
Well,
I think
he talks about a friend.
He has a one line.
Yeah. He talks about a friend that passed away, and the song Blue Slide Park from Mac Miller. So it does have a he is talking about Mac Miller in some sort of way on there. Ohio featuring Freddie Gibbs.
Mm-hmm. Three-part song.
The beat switch on there.
Yep.
I
Yep.
find Ohio is a really good song. I just find I don't need Freddie Gibbs on there.
You
I find
thought I thought that was gonna be the pimp, the playalistic West West Coast pimp song, but it turned out to be another one again, another curveball. He goes for so many vibes in one song. Uh,
that's where you're talking about all the beat switches throughout the songs,
yeah,
which we never really heard Schoolboy Q do. I find it could hurt the album or it doesn't hurt the album. It depends how he uses it and how many times he uses it. Because to your point, he does use them a lot in the album.
oh man, there's a lot. I mean, in the first 5 songs, the first 4 songs, I think there's probably 4, 5, 6 beats maybe
Mm-hmm.
already. You know, Lovebirds is always going up and down between trap, soul chop, trap, soul chop. So, um, I love movies, man. I love movies. I love movies.
Cooties
I'm
was
always
good.
bouncing to that.
Cooties was
Cooties
a good
is
song.
excellent.
It's probably one of my favorites on the album. And
FOUX,
uh,
Fou.
that I'm not a fan of the song.
No, jogging
Featuring
with
Absol,
host. Yeah,
featuring Absol. No, I thought they could have done something a lot more interesting. Having Absol not been on his album since Habits and Contradictions,
okay.
and they could have done something a lot more interesting, something more hard hitting, something like when they did Sopa, something like when they
Oh,
did
Sofa. Damn.
like something that you play at a show. That's when everybody starts going wild. That's when people just start jumping off the balconies.
Yeah. But I think
Uh,
that's why they did this cut. I think it shows the maturity. They both saying on it, like they don't do those drugs anymore. You know, they mature now and they talk about a bit of regret of what they had, what they did. So I mean, this album to me, the balance is just that's what I like. I like the gangster shit that is on here, and I like how he goes into the storytelling, into the more low key cuts of the album.
it's storytelling and those more laid back cuts,
Mhm.
like the Blue Slides, like Thank God for Me, like Germany '86, like Cooties. Uh, I find those are a lot more interesting. I'm getting a lot more personal about Schoolboy Q.
Yeah, that
It's the
I've
maturity level of him.
oh, of course, and I mean, I cannot express how happy I am that he chose the go his way, and not to chase numbers again. He learned that mistake by Crash, and
Oof.
and I mean, it's a complete album. To me, it's a complete album. I've seen every critic. I mean, if you go online and look at critics,
Fuck them.
everything. There's everything. There's everything. There's people that hate it. There's people that love it. People saying it's album of the year. People saying it's his worst album.
It's 3 months. Can be
But
album of the year.
I understand it. I understand why people. I understand why it could be so dividing. I understand it totally.
Were you right on my how
Yes.
I felt about the album and what songs I like and dislike?
Yes. You last time is your favorite?
Germany '86
Oh,
and
okay. You see that? I'm surprised. Blue Slide.
yeah, Germany '86, Blue Slide. I like all those songs, all those more put together Schoolboy Q tracks. I like pop.
Last time was Alchemist that's my favorite.
I don't know who Jazzy is or whatever, however you pronounce it.
It-
The beat is good.
mhm.
It, I find I find he could have did a bit better with the with the performance on the song. There you go. He will leave it at that, right?
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, again, I think he went there. For me, it just hit it. It just hit it. I'm gonna listen to this a lot, and I'm not tired. I've even after the review, I'm gonna probably listen to this a couple of times. And I try to buy the CD, and they don't ship it to Canada. What the
No,
fuck?
they're gonna have it in store. Why are you gonna spend $1,000 on the CD coming from the United States when we could go to the store and buy it?
I mean, I wanted it now, so
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
But just like all the other things we order, it ain't coming now.
It ain't coming.
Look, I like the album. I get bored. I was hoping for a lot more. Look, this is my opinion now. In 6 months, I could probably think it's the best album ever created. It could probably be a grower on me, and I love the album. There could be songs that I don't like that I like in 6 months. I
And I could
don't
hate
know
it. I could hate it from
exactly.
6 months from here. We never know. I
For,
doubt it, but it could happen.
for right now, I just find it okay, sometimes good, sometimes a bunch of highlights on it, but I get bored quick. I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting bored. I got bored quickly on the album, and I keep getting bored throughout this at the same areas. I get lost.
I'm surprised that I don't get bored. 56, I always say 30 minutes for me is a perfect album.
Yeah, what?
36, 40, 60, 56 minutes, I listen to a whole thing. I'm surprised. He got it, man. He made me, I think I'm pretty much, I think maybe it's me being biased, but it is what it is, man. I enjoy this album. So nobody can take that away from me. So there you go.
We do our ScHoolboy Q rankings. Oh.
Yeah, okay. You want to do the note of this album?
Yeah, so I give this album a 6.57 on 10.
You need to decide one. You can't be. You gave a lot of. When I edit, I'm like, do I put the two notes? No. Give me one
I give the album a 6.5 for now.
for now.
You?
Esto es un 9
What?
de 10. This is a 9 out of 10.
9.
This is my favorite album of the year.
9.
To
It's
this-
3
yeah.
months, Milenko. It's not. You can't be your favorite album of the year.
No, till now. I mean, so far it's my favorite, and it's the best album I've heard. So
9.
9. This is a 9 for me. This is a 9 for me.
9.
He lost points on first Nunu. He lost points on
Jesus,
De-
it should be a
Devin
7
Malik.
then.
No, because I listened to those songs. They're
9.
enjoyable. Those are like 0.5. And the featuring Devin Malik on Lovebird, that verse does absolutely nothing for me. Smile should have been longer. And that's pretty much all the negative I gotta say. The rest, I love it. Oh, how Freddie Gibbs give me lost 0.2 with the academics line. Roll my eyes. But yeah.
All right, so let's rank these albums. You want me to go
Vamos.
first?
Vas-y en premier.
Okay. We're ranking how many albums? 6?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know how I switched to French.
Number 6. So we're doing 6 to 1. ScHoolboy Q albums ranked. Number 6 is the terrible Crash Talk.
Yep.
Number 5, it's Setbacks. Number 4 is, I was about to call it Blue Lips. Number 3, Oxymoron. Number 4, number 2, number 2, Habits and Contradictions.
Yep.
And number 1, Blank Face.
Blank face. For me, this is totally biased, people.
As I take a full steamy dump all over it.
Respect my
Go.
opinion, guys. Número 6, Crash. 5, Habits and Contradiction.
Wait.
Listen
What?
to me. 4,
5, Habits and Contradictions.
5, 4, Oxymoron. 3, Blue Lips.
What?
2 is Setbacks.
What?
And 1 is Blank Face.
2 is
Two.
Setbacks.
2 is Setbacks. Setbacks for me, I grew up with that. I skip one song of that and it's to the beat. The rest of it for me is all going. And obviously number 1 is Blank Face. That's a no skipper. And to me, still one of the best album that we could get in the 2000s. So it's a classic. It made the top 100, and I totally agree with that.
Wow.
Setbacks number 2. That's heavy.
Blue Lips number 3.
3,
Oxymoron number 4.
4. Because Oxymoron, there's some songs that I never go back. Never go back. I always skip. Always skip. Studio, um, Los
Shocked.
Awesome. Los Awesome. I don't like that song.
How do you not like Los Awesome?
I don't like that beat.
Featuring J-Rock.
I don't like that beat.
Are you drunk? What do you mean? What's wrong with the beat? It's a Pharrell Williams beat.
I don't like it. I don't like it, man. Pharrell Williams, we talked about it with the Common album he dropped. That album was horrendous. He missed. Sometimes Pharrell miss. And
Not on this song. Los
Fuck
Awesome
LA.
is fantastic.
I don't like Fuck LA.
I used to listen to Los Awesome when I used to live back in the apartment on the way to the bus before I used to drive. It was Gangsta
Mhm.
and then Los Awesome. It was those two songs put together wanted me to go buy a gun. It felt like I was already walking around with a gun on me, and I didn't, and I've never held one before in my life.
So yeah, that was and I lost that album. That's Oxymoron. You know, I don't have it in my collection because of Gangsta. Because my friend had the two big subwoofers in his car, so I always gave him the CD, and he never gave him back. But that when Gangsta hit on that, I wanted to listen to it on the car because when we ride around with Gangsta, oof, we thought we were the shit. Yep. So that's my ranking.
That's awesome. Anyways, I don't agree with it, but hey, it is what it is.
It's awesome.
All right, let's get out of here. But before we get out of here, I want to give a big shout out to someone. I want to give a big shout out to you, Milenko, because I know I'm
thank
hard
you.
on you. Pause all the time. Terrible communicator. You never answer your phone.
Yeah, you always texting me. Are you dead? That's what you text me.
I send you text messages. I call you all the time. You never answer. But I appreciate you taking care of editing the episodes, the videos, all the cool jazz that you put together on it, and sending it to me, and also all the videos you did for all the people that sent in. Which album would you give somebody, etc., etc., if they haven't been into hip hop in a long time or are just getting into hip hop?
And it was really cool, man. Good choices from everyone. Keep sending us.
Yeah, keep sending them in. So thank you for taking care of all of that.
Thank you.
So if you haven't already, please subscribe. We are on
Please.
on YouTube at Steven from the All Time Podcast and on Instagram at Steven.alltime.
Like the video as
Like
well.
the video, make a comment.
If you want to, give us in the comments, put your ranking. Put the ranking of your favorite ScHoolboy Q albums.
Yes.
And tell me how bad my ranking is.
Because it's terrible.
And how much you rate the albums. Tell us how much you rate what's your rating. Put it in the comments. I want to see it too. So
Absolutely.
Don't just send it to us on personal DMs. You guys know who you are. Put it in the comments. We're gonna start a conversation.
Big shout out to Sting on his retirement. You're probably never gonna hear this podcast, but hey, we're paying homage to you. Super important.
Maybe he's gonna have time now, so maybe he'll listen to us.
Yeah, right. So we'll be back very soon.
Yeah, always, man. I can't wait to see what hip hop reserved for us. This year has been good. It's been a good year for me. It's been a good year for me. I'm not gonna complain.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you for listening in. We'll be back very soon. Milenko, thank you very much.
Thank you to you, man.
And this is the only place where you can get hip hop and wrestling.
The only place
in the same damn show. Top guys out.
Peace.
Peace.